Well, hello internet friends. Welcome to this tutorial about basic CRUD and PHP. So you'll see here I've got this page for a fictional band called Musy, and here we have upcoming albums. So I'll click upcoming albums and you'll see an album listed here. So the nice part about this album is that it's been generated from the database. And so here's the admin page, and we have the albums here, and you can create a new album, you can edit it, you can delete it, and it shows them all here. So this is sort of like my basic CRUD for, it could obviously look way better, but function wise it's working. So let's just go ahead and see what I did here. So these are all the files for Musy so far that I have. It's a group project, so these are what I have. Here's upcoming albums, and so I have this upcoming albums PHP file. So this is the page. You can pretty much ignore a lot of this, all of this up until here. That's just the header. That's just this spot that appears on every page. What we're more interested in is what happens here. So I'm gonna just go into that in more detail here. So first of all, you'll see PHP. So for those of you completely new with PHP, that's just that means we're using PHP, and so that way the HTML doesn't confuse it. So I'm having some really delicious tea here. I don't want it to get cold. So anyway, you'll see here I've got require once database.php. So that is this one right here. So this will be the first one we look at here. So what this is called, actually it's called a singleton class, because you're basically just using it for that one purpose. So here we're actually connecting to the database, and for this tutorial we're only using localhost. So your PHP MyAdmin, which you would once you install like XAMPP or WAMP, you would go into there, like you go here admin, and then you type in your port. Right, so this is the local host I'm talking about, and like we can see here I've got my upcoming albums table. So this is what I've added. All right, so anyway, so all this code is doing is just you're specifying your information. I think DSN stands for domain server name, or no, data server name, something like that. Anyway, so this is getting your SQL saying host is my local host, and important right here is you need to make sure you got the right database name. So my database name is Musy, so I put Musy in there. And then here's our construct function, which every class really needs, but there's nothing in here. And then we have this static function called getDB, which is, so we're getting the database, right? So this is just basically the code here that we need. If it's not set self db, right? So if this isn't already set, excuse me, then we're gonna set it to a new PDO. What is that? PHP data object? Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just what we use to access the data. So then the PDO is now grabbing all this information we declared. So the DSN, the username, the password. Of course, if you have a password, it would have to be different, or if you're connected to your server, it would be different, but that's not within the scope of this video. Or else, we get this error message, and we include this file database error, which is just this file right here. Actually, I might have had the wrong path. Yeah. Whoops, I gotta update that. Anyway, so this is, it's just creating an HTML page saying, oh, there's an error connecting to the database, and then it shows the error message right here, what happened. So that's just, error handling. Great, so, and then of course we return this. So the nice thing about this class is this is just, you just call this anytime you want to connect to the database. Okay, so I require that, and now I require this other thing called read.php. So we'll, where did I put that read.php? Did I not? Oh, right. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting all confused here. All right, here it is. Read.php. So yeah, this is just another class. And so basically, you're just you're creating the read SQL statement from your table. So you got your class here, and then DB is a new DB class, and of course DB class was called before, so that's how we were able to access it. And then so here's our query. So select all from upcoming albums, which is in my table. Upcoming albums. Yeah, so this is upcoming albums right here. So I'm selecting all from that, and then I'm just ordering by date, right? So I have date, I can order that like that. And then I have just this statement which just prepares that, and then it executes. And then I create a variable which basically just grabs all of this, grabs a statement, fetches all of it, and returns it into a variable just so that way I can use it in my code for my page. Okay, so I got that, and so now I just instantiated that class. So again, so read, so I create a variable that instantiates that. So, and then so now I have a new variable called albums, which is just it's getting it's doing the read method, and read method is returning albums. So I just called it the same name just because I prefer doing it that way. But basically, albums is grabbing albums from here, which is getting all that information. So now that I have all that in this file, which is, the page you see here, I'm able to play around with it. So again, this is just all the header. So basically, this is my body, and this is just all I'm doing. So I'm doing a for each loop to display everything. So I'm calling the albums, for each album, so I'm calling it an album. I'm basically just creating a container, just a div, just giving a class, and I'm just giving h2 then. So the h2 is grabbing album's title from this from here. So so album's title, so it'll grab Musy Me, or for everyone it'll do it. I only have one right now. And create a paragraph with album's content. Again, album's content is in here, right? That's just describing what the album is. And then just a span with release date and a span with price, and that's basically it. That's how you get all this for this page. So that's the create out of what we call CRUD. So the basic create, read, updated. Oh jeez, my tea. No, the tea bag broke. Oh, that's nasty. Okay, I'm not drinking any more of that. Yeah, so that's the create. So now we have no, sorry, that was a read. Create is right here. Again, I apologize. This looks like garbage, but I'm gonna have to style all that later. So anyway, we can actually create a new one here. So let's create UC is back, right? Count it. UC second hit. Tracks include. Oh baby. I love Musy. I'm secretly a web developer, I don't know. Whatever. And then we'll do a release date. So this will be so this will be Musy's second album, so this will have to be in 2018. We'll say they produced more than just that, That's 06. Price $13.99. Submit, and look, it's showing, and it is ordering by date because I did that in my I did by date descending. So that's why we have the highest date there and the lowest date there. So so the 6th month is higher than the 5th month. All right, so let's just get into the code of how I did that. Oh geez, where is it? Read database error. Give me a minute here. All right. Okay, so I did it in admin, of course, because this is the admin page. So admin has an upcoming album. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to keep track of. So this is just the upcoming albums page. I'll get rid of the older ones. this is just that page again. You know, a lot of this we can just ignore because it's just like the header and stuff. But this is showing everything. So anyway, I'll just before I show all this, I'll go. Here's my CRUD class. See, I actually required database here, so I probably in my read I probably could have done that better, just requiring that, just so that way my PHP file doesn't require both, but you can do it either way. See, I only have that once, and the other one required 2 files, but really, it doesn't really matter. So of course it's doing the database, which of course, you know, grabs the database. The first thing we looked at, we got our class. I call it CRUD. You can call it whatever you want. I just call it CRUD just because it's doing CRUD operations. So we have our constructor, which again mine doesn't do anything, but yeah. By the way, all this we don't have validation yet, but you could do validation inside of here, like see, I was kind of playing around with it, but that was for another one with email. Like this is the create. You can do like you would pass in your variables here, and then you do your validation here. Like if it, you know, if it failed validation, you'd return these validation messages, or else you do this. So okay, so create is it's got these parameters passing into it, title, content, date, and price. So that is actually it's from here. So again, I'm instantiating CRUD again, and I'm just basically saying, because I have this button. Where is it? Yeah, this button right here. If that one is set, I called it button submit, which is where did I put it? Here it is. This is my form for creating. So if that button is set, then I instantiate. I already instantiated CRUD, but I call the create method. Again, the create method is right there, and then I passed in these post values. So for title, content, date, and price, and of course here we are: title, content, date, and price. Again, these names could be anything. I just match the names just for, you know, consistency. But yeah, post title, post content, post date, post price is getting it from here. So excuse me. Like here's title, here's date, here's price. What else did I get? Price, date, content. Where's content? Oh, here, it's a text area and it's name content. Yeah, text area is different, like it's different than input text. It's just so that way we can get you know, this big thing right here. Anyway, where was I at? So yeah, that's how easy it is to do the create. You know, we just we pass in all that. We again we get our DB class stored into this DB variable. We create our SQL query, which is insert into upcoming albums. Again, upcoming albums is over here. So we're saying what we're inserting. So we're going to insert the album title, the album content, the album date, the album price. And these are the values. And I'm using parameters to avoid SQL injection, because people can just hack your code if you don't do it otherwise. You know, you can do something like, you know, a drop table or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but you can actually like input it and it would drop your table. So I'm pretty sure this avoids that. Again, so we got a statement which prepares, you know, DB prepare the query, and then these are just binding those parameters to the parameters we passed in. So these are getting bind to that. Oh, I forgot to do that. What did I do for my insert? Yeah, I should probably add all that. Whoops. Now I'm gonna refresh and then my code is broken. No, it looks good. Let's just do a test. Right, okay, so I didn't break my code, that's good. Yeah, so it wasn't working before, so it probably just wasn't secure before, but it was still working, so whatever. Yeah, and then just statement execute. So that just says, do it. So insert all this. So that's that. And then the next one is read. So this is similar to what I did before, right? I think I called this actually before, and then it just read everything on the other page. But anyway, I'll just go over it again. So we're calling the DB class again. We're getting the DB, putting in there, query select all, order by dates descending. Then prepare the query, execute it, fetch it all, and then store in this albums variable. And of course, so I'm using the albums. So I again called albums, but I could have called it really whatever I want. I could call it like, I don't know, UZ. But then I would just have to be consistent all the time. But I just, I prefer to keep it the same. So albums is equal to CRUD read. So CRUD read will return albums, which will give me all of this information. So now we can play with it. So again, I'm just doing something similar here. I'm just doing a for each albums, and I'm calling it album, and I'm just echoing a, a div, which is just all of these are just divs. So I'm just showing you here what it's doing. So basically, it's just creating these. Right, there's one div. There's another, and there's another, and there's another. And just, I mean, how you show it is completely up to you. I just did it this way just because, it's simple. It's all on one page. So I just create a list, like title and then album title. Okay, so I'll just go into a little bit nitty gritty here. So I made it so that way it outputs an input of text, and value is equal to the title from the table. So the title would be, wait, did I do that? Album's title is Musing Me, yeah. Let's see, is that exactly what I did? Values equals music back. Oh, here it is. Yeah, okay, so I did do that. So the value inside this text box is equal to the title, just so that way you can see title and title is there and all that, yeah. And then of course name, I did input title, just a general, but then what I did for my solution, and this is just the way I like it, a lot of people do it a different way, but I created the name of each input to be input title, and I concatenated it to the ID of that specific title. So Musing Me will be album ID 12, so it'll be called input title 12. Where is it? Yeah, so input title 12. That's just my way of organizing it, so that way later we'll see in the update, because I can just update on this one page, but a lot of people like to do it when you click update, it'll bring you to a new page with all this specific information. All this is letting me do is just letting it be so it's one click and then it's all done. So it's just in one page, that's all. Well, I'll get into that and we'll see. So all of this is doing basically the same, except this time it's a text area. This time it's an input. This time it's an input. Excuse me. And now, so I've got my two buttons, right? So I got my two submit buttons, one update, one delete. I gave them classes, just, for later, for styling purposes. Gave them names for later. And then again, I gave them specific names again according to the ID. So this one will be called button update 12 because this is I think this is ID 12, so it should be button ID 12 or button update 12, sorry, and button update 11. So this one will probably be 23. That's weird. Well, I mean, I've been making a lot of these, so they've had all sorts of different IDs and values. Okay, so anyway, so I've got this for each loop, which is handling the update and the delete. let's see what I do here. So for each album, right, so if that's specific, this is my way of finding out what was updated specifically. So if post button update and then equal to that specific ID, if that button is pressed, then I call my CRUD again and I update it. And of course I just pass in all these specific, again, like, it's just one way of doing it. It's probably simpler to do it in a separate page, but I just prefer the single page. So basically I'm choosing the specific update button for the div, and then I'm just saying, like, you know, get that's put in for my update. It requires ID, title, content, date, and price. So here's my ID, which I'm getting from the button update because it has a value equal to that ID. So that's how I get the ID. And then I just, you know, for my input title specific to that ID, and my content, which is specific to that ID, and my date and my price. Right. Oh, and this little bit is just refreshing the page because it doesn't actually update it without refreshing. That's just the way mine is designed. So again, I'll just quickly show you the update function here. So here's all the stuff I passed in. Again, I'm getting my DB class. Here's a query, you know, SQL query, update upcoming albums again from there. Set the title equal to title content. So that's all this, right? Titles equal to title, album, content, date, and price. Again, I'm using these parameters and then I'm binding them over here. So, crap, I should probably do that again. Anyway, I'll do that later. I don't think I need to do ID though. Anyway, I'll figure that out later, but it works like this. It just might have a security vulnerability. And then execute. And then delete album is similar. So, you know, it's this time if you're checking that specific delete button, and then you call the delete album method in the class. And then you're passing in the ID from the delete button, because, you know, for all of these you need a specific ID, because you gotta say, like, update, you know, this row with this ID, or delete this row with this ID. So that's why I'm putting the value of the ID on the button. Just my little sort of clever way of being able to pass the ID. Other people do like hidden inputs, but like you just gotta be creative with it. Just figure out a way. Yep, so I'm just passing in that, and then I'm refreshing the page. Here's a delete, you know, grab my DB class again. Here's my query, delete from upcoming albums, where albums ID equals ID. And there we go, I'm binding it. I might... See, I don't think I have to do this PDO param string. I think all that is doing is just restricting the data before it can go in. So actually, I think I'm fine. I think all it's saying is like, oh, they can't enter more than 10 digits as a string. And like it catches it before even my database does. So I'm pretty sure that's what all that is. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. So, you know, I can update this. Date 001. It's like the first day. And then it will update. And of course it's at the bottom because, you know, it's year 1. And then delete will work. You know, I don't know if I want to delete this because I put a lot of effort into that. But I definitely delete that other one. And here we'll go back here and boom, there we are. All this information that we dynamically generated from the database. Great. Thank you for watching. Man, I felt like that was a long one. If you have any questions, please let me know. Great, and thanks for watching again.